If you want to make great YouTube videos but don't know where to start, then you're in the right place, because in this video I'm going to show you how to go from a simple idea to a final video in just 10 minutes. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. I'm Adam Loretz and I've been making videos for decades and been on YouTube since day one.
My videos have notched up millions of views, so hold on to your hats and open your minds, because I'm about to start dropping some knowledge bombs for you right now.
Now, the first thing to do when making a YouTube video is to research your video subject. Type in some keywords and look at popular videos. See what unique knowledge and value you can add in your own video. Also, see what kind of thumbnails are grabbing people's attention. You need a strong hook in your thumbnail to get more views. With your new info, make a plan for your thumbnail and make a note to capture your own original imagery during the filming process. Now, we'll get back to thumbnail creation later, so stick around to the end. Whatever your idea is, you're going to want to write a script that answers a question or need from your audience and plan out your video by making a storyboard of shots that you want to capture. Remember, by the end of your video, you want your audience to have taken on board your message, to see things differently or more clearly, or maybe just have a laugh. Now, there's two main elements to most productions, A-roll and B-roll. In this example, the A-roll is a piece to camera from Lindsay, and the B-roll some clips of the actions being spoken about. In this example, clips of Lindsay painting in a studio. When it comes to filming, use whatever camera you have. Personally, I use a mirrorless camera. However, a modern mobile phone would do a very good job. Okay, let's get filming. But what to film first? Whenever possible, it's best to shoot the piece to camera first, because there may be something which comes up that you hadn't planned to film as B-roll, and this way you can add it to your list. Now, before we start filming our A-roll, let's just get our camera set up correctly. First off is white balance. So depending on the environment you're in, there'll be a small icon for you to click on. If you need to custom white balance under mixed lighting conditions, a good get out of jail free card is to use a white piece of paper or a white wall to do a manual white balance. Beyond that, check your frame rates. For actuality, where things don't have to be slowed down or anything, in the UK and Europe you go with 25, and in America and Japan it's 30.
And to ensure natural looking motion, set your shutter speed to double your frame rate. The info's on screen now. For more info on camera setup, check out the links in the description.
So with the camera set up correctly, here are 3 quick tips for better shooting. Remember ALF. No, not an old man, it's audio, lighting and framing. So audio. Audio is half the picture. If you've got rubbish sound, people will just switch off straight away. Try and get your audio spot on. Obviously, try and film in a quiet place without a lot of excessive background noise. If you've got music on, turn it off. If there are people around, ask them politely to be quiet. And if you have an external microphone, or better yet, a wireless mic, pop that on your talent and you'll be off to the races. Lighting wise, if you don't have any lights, you'll have to use the windows and practical lights available. In this example shot of Lindsay in a posh new extension, there are French doors over to the left, and that's providing a main or key light to her. And behind her, there's more windows, and that's adding a backlight. And then on our right hand side, I've just popped a little LED panel as a fill light. And overall, this gives a reasonable high key look.
And don't worry if you haven't got a panel light, you can always bounce light back onto a subject using a piece of polyboard or a cheap reflector like this one from Amazon.
The more lights you have, the more options you have for placing your subject and framing them exactly how you want them. In the meanwhile, you'll just have to get creative, positioning your subject around the light and the practical lights that you've got to hand. So lighting and framing really do go hand in hand. Now, because I want you to succeed, here's a quick overview of lighting. Fundamentally, the bigger the source of light and the further away it is from your subject, the softer and more flattering it will be, casting softer shadows. If you have a lot of light from both sides, you'll end up with this high key look, a bit like what I've got here with Lindsay. And if you have more light on one side than the other, you'll end up with a more low-key light as favoured by everyone's favourite painter, Rembrandt. Just look for the little triangle as you place your subject around into the light. Beautiful. Once you have your A-roll in the bag, it's time to move on to your B-roll. When you come to the editing process, you'll want to have lots of options, so now is a good time to change the settings on your camera. If your camera can shoot 50 or 60 frames per second, then you can slow down your footage in the edit, giving you more creative opportunities.
Just remember to also adjust your shutter speed to double your frame rates. The info's on screen now.
In my example, I'm filming in Lindsay's studio, capturing the tools of the trade, pattern and printmaking, as well as obviously painting. Books of inspiration, multiple canvases and artist stands all help to tell Lindsay's story. Now, to make the B-roll more interesting, I've used a mixture of shots from wide angles, mid shots and close-ups, as well as adding dynamic movements such as push-ins, tilts and small orbits. The key thing about shooting B-roll is just to make sure you get plenty of coverage. If you're going handheld and you've got a neck strap on your camera, use that, and between your neck and your hands you'll have 3 points of contact, and that will give you much more stable shots than just holding the camera alone. Take a moment to consider each shot and breathe out gently as you make each one of your moves, and this way at least you'll get a good 5 to 15 seconds of stable footage per clip. Finally, just make sure you get some banger shots for those thumbnails. Well done, we're halfway there. So stick with me whilst we get through this edit. I like to import my clips into Final Cut Pro and add my A-roll into a 25p timeline. With everything trimmed down, here's Lindsay's 5 videos, all at 60 seconds each. I then add some B-roll over the top where I've made my cuts. That smooths out the edits and helps to bring the story to life. So you've got a good story, now let's add some mood with some music to really move your audience. Personally, I use artlist.io for any music I need, as they always seem to have a wide range of content and tones to fit any video. The video is not sponsored by them, I just like what they do and they've been exceptional value. Of course, if this is a video for a brand, then add logos at the beginning and the end, add a website name or a link as a call to action. Once you have everything looking and sounding spot on, then export your video and publish it. When publishing to YouTube, the last few things you need to do are to give it a simple title. Think about what people will write in the search, and that's what you need to put as your title. Beyond that, go in and add some keywords, and then finally, I like to make my thumbnails in my editing software of choice, which is Final Cut, but you can always use Photoshop or Affinity or something similar to make an HD sized JPEG for the job. Once your video's gone live, get the link to it and put it out across social media and your Facebook groups and track its performance in YouTube Studio. And before you know it, everything will be flying, make more videos, get more subs, and you'll be off to the races. Congratulations, we've got to the end. There's plenty more tips about video production on the channel, so stick around and I'll see you on the next one.